Hi. Well, today I have an online lesson about 3 p.m., I think. And so I have all my stuff set up just to check it out, make sure that everything sounds appropriate, everything works, like changing the batteries in this little thing, this little guy. So anyway, so I thought maybe I would do another little video diary because why not? And I think the last one was like 6 months ago. I guess it wasn't that long. It was probably more like three or four or something. But anyway, but lots of things have changed, so why not detail what has changed? And anyway, so what did I want to talk about? I wanted to make this short. I wanted to talk about what has happened between the last time that I did this, um, what my expectations are for the new year because it's 2022 now. Yippee! And I guess that's about it. What has changed? What is the same? What are my plans going forward? That's a good little thing to talk about. So, last time I was living up in Washington Heights, right? Well, that didn't quite work out. Just because of the living situation with my roommate, pretty much. Decent human being, but it just wasn't going to work out long term, I could already see. So, I decided to get out of there. And I found a nice 111, well, I guess it's 2022 now, so 112-year-old building in the East Village. So that's where I am now, and something that's technically a single room occupancy. So it's super small. It looks like a walk-in closet that you would find in, Texas, where I came from. But I don't mind. I like minimalist aesthetics and simple living. So for me, it's just about perfect. What was my point, though? The point is, I like this neighborhood better because it's centrally located. I can use public transportation to get just about anywhere, whether that's going west out to Jersey or going east to, Long Island, Long Island, Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, south of Staten Island, whatever. Wherever I need to go, I can get there from here. So that's nice. And if I walk west, I'm pretty much within walking distance of all the most famous jazz clubs in New York, so that's cool. Um, and I don't have people puking out in the front street. I don't know. Maybe they do, but I'm now on the fourth floor, so I wouldn't hear it. And I don't live right next to drug dealers anymore, or and I don't see people out of their minds on heroin right north of the George Washington Bridge anymore. Though I mean, there's plenty of trouble going on St. Mark's Street and that sort of thing, and the park nearby. But anyway, but that's not my scene, so it doesn't matter. It's just nice that I don't have to necessarily walk right out my front door and see that kind of stuff going on. Um, so it's a better location for me. Um, I've finally got my little practice area kind of set up. I have the same setup as before, same cameras. I can do a close up for this, which is what I'm going to be doing later. I'm going to be teaching a new student some ukulele, so that's why I have this all set up. So that'll be fun. Just making sure it all works, but it seems to be working fine. It's the same setup I had before, and it worked then, so whatever. Have some sound paneling behind me. That's just it's just a blanket, a sheet basically. Um, but that's to keep light out from the window. Man, I need more coffee. Obviously, the way I'm speaking. That's to keep light out from the window. I also have lots of acoustic paneling. Hopefully, I mean, I can still hear my neighbors. I can hear a neighbor over there, which is a lady, which unfortunately I think she's having some problems. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of years for everybody, I think. Mental health can be a serious thing. If you find yourself like this person, waking up screaming, not like anguish, but just anger This person is on their phone constantly and constantly screaming about something. But yeah, keep track of yourself, people. Manage your moods. If you find yourself in constant resentment and anger, there's probably something in your life you need to change. But let's not get into that. So, I have acoustic paneling. Doesn't so much change what I hear from other people, but I hope it makes it so that people don't hear me so much. It also makes it so that hopefully I'm not getting any reverb to this little mic right here. I also have it attached close to my mouth, so hopefully it's close enough to the source that all you're hearing, or at least most of what you're hearing, is me. You don't hear like my little mini fridge because it constantly makes this electronic whirring noise. And still, if there's traffic on the street, there's not a lot of traffic, but sometimes, especially, like garbage trucks, if they go by, it's really loud. So, anyway, I'm trying to cut down on extraneous noises. Yippee. So that's what I got going on. What else has changed? So, changed my living situation. Jobs have come and gone already since a few months ago, but right now I have a nice job in this little place. And I don't know if I should be super. I don't know if I want to like name names, but because they don't. It's not like anyone requested to be talked about. But anyway, I work at this place in Chinatown. That's great, uh, and I've been having a solid chunk of lessons there on like Saturday. Still working at this music and art center because it's music and arts. They're everywhere, somewhere in New Jersey, and that's been working out like one day a week. Hopefully, I'll get more students, but if I don't, it's fine. I'll just stop because that's the bus rides are getting frustrating for that one. Have some other stuff going on, which is giving me some online students, which will hopefully turn into in-person students once people kind of get over this winter Omicron hump and everything. And applying for more stuff all the time. So just trying to get enough of a schedule going so that I'm kind of breaking even with expenses, and then we'll be able to go out and play, hopefully meet these other musicians, play gigs and stuff, and make some more money that way. Um, but yeah, I mean, uncomfortable right now. I have slowed the extent of money that's going out for I'm earning enough that I'm essentially slowing the depletion of my savings. So that's a good start, but hopefully, I was projecting that I'd be in a better financial spot now than I am, and that's just because it's kind of two steps forward, one step back. There's some jobs that I had that just didn't work out because it was a nightmare. But I don't even really feel like going into it. It was just after school programs where the kids were not into it. There was communication issues with the company, which there's no reason to talk about. Because it would probably be a good job for a certain kind of person. If you were like 19 and doing a gap year and you knew a little bit of guitar and you were really good with kids, all kinds of kids, and you cared more about just having fun than them actually learning anything. That sounds too insulting, but that's kind of the vibe. Then yeah, then you would have had a great time at that job, I think. Just like really charismatic, really active, and just really able to motivate people. And I can do some of that, but it's like when I'm trying to play, have these kids learn a chord, and they're like, "My fingers hurt. I don't want to do it." Yeah, you're not my dad. It's like, yeah, you're right. I'm not your dad. What does that have to do with anything? When I'm teaching kids that are in like fourth grade and they're already, dismissive and disruptive and disrespectful, it's like, okay, I don't know how to deal with that. If you don't want to learn guitar, why am I even here? And then yeah, just communication issues with the people I was working with. It would just turn into a situation where it was not even worth it. Anyway, done with that. Moving on. What else has happened? I haven't done a whole lot and just from like October because I was just dealing with moving twice in a matter of a few months after, driving myself across the entire country, and then financing another move here, which I had to hire some movers, and then dealing with a smaller apartment, plus it's just set up differently. A lot of the square footage is just not really usable because it has like this tiny hallway. Yeah, so rearranging my stuff, getting used to the new neighborhood, more activity, more tourists downtown, etc. Just a lot that I had to get used to. So it took basically October, November just doing that. And then December, it was like, oh, I'm kind of getting the hang of things. Plus October and November was also getting rid of that other job. And so kind of getting used to things, but also figuring out you know, what's my motivation for this scene? Trying to figure out, what do I really want to do here? I'm trying to get back on track with having a more consistent practice schedule. That's why am I looking over there? Because that's where my music stand is and all the stuff, the notes I've been taking. So yeah, so I've been. I mean, here's the thing. Like the schedule that I want to get to is basically practicing in the morning, teaching in the afternoon, gigging or jamming at night. Repeat. And that's great. But I mean, just think about, if I teach guitar, I teach ukulele, which is what I'm doing today. Teach bass. I don't have any bass students at the moment. Guitar, I teach guitar. I teach classical guitar. I teach steel string acoustic. I teach electric. So think about this. Like if you play classical guitar every day, what are you going to do? You're going to do some exercises. You're going to work on some scales like Segovia style stuff. You're going to work on maybe 2 or 3 repertoire pieces. Okay, that's a solid few hours, couple hours at least of work. And then if you're going to pull out your Fender Strat, and then you're going to do the same thing, right? Like you're going to play like some different exercises. You're going to play like maybe a Eddie Van Halen solo you've been working on. You're going to play a couple of funk songs, some gospel, whatever. Okay, then you're going to pull out your jazz guitar, do the same thing. Again, you're going to do some improvisational exercises. You're going to play like some Wes Montgomery transcription you're working on. You're going to play through a few standards. You're going to learn a new one. You can learn a new standard in like a day, but you have to sit with it for a week to actually make music out of it. Okay, so that's just guitar. You already have like a solid half a day, like a solid 4 to 6 hours of work there on just keeping up with that stuff. And then are you going to work on this thing or play some bass, So anyway, so I have my work cut out for me, and I'm excited about that actually because I'm really excited about getting into more classical playing because it's just, it's a more introspective, meditative kind of a thing. You're usually playing alone. You're usually playing repertoire that's just solo guitar. It's all you, the bass line, the harmony, the rhythm, the melody, everything is you and your and finger independence which is more intricate than most other styles, so I've really I can see myself really getting into more of that, so that's cool. And what was my point? My point was just I'm getting excited about having that sort of routine, but that means that my mornings are going to be taken up just with practice time, and then afternoons I'm either going to be traveling to some school to teach, or maybe I'll be able to sit here and do an online lesson using this equipment that I have set up right here, which would be nice. But I wouldn't want to do that all the time because it's nice just to get out of the apartment. Being stuck inside all day just kind of makes you feel not yourself. So anyway, so that's kind of what I've been working on musically, and I'm excited about it. I didn't really have a regular practice routine from when I first moved. When was that? Like the end of July through, or the 1st of August or something, through September and October, because I just had so much going on and so many things to get used to, and so many jobs I was applying for. It was just okay, practice whenever you can, work on whatever you feel like working on when you can. But now I'm finally feel like I'm kind of settled so that I can get into a regular routine and really have goals that I'm moving towards. So excited about that. Feels good. Feels good to have, feel like I have a routine. I have plans. I feel settled. And so moving forward into the new year, I think it's going to help a lot. So yeah, it's good. It's 2022 now. And what else? Yeah, so I got COVID like a week ago. That was not fun, but it wasn't too bad because I'm fully vaccinated. I was waiting to get a booster because I wasn't sure if, with this Omicron variant thing, there's always going to be new variants. I mean, read the book Guns, Germs, and Steel if you want to know about, like, how diseases typically mutate over time. Um, in a anthropological standpoint, not so much biological standpoint. It's a good book, but New York Times bestseller too, a few years back. But anyway, my point is, I was waiting to see with like, well, are they going to suggest that we take a booster, like just another low-level dose of a typical vaccine, or are they going to change the makeup of the vaccine and give us a full dose? Something like that. I was waiting to see because, I don't care about political stuff. My thing is that I'm a teacher, I work with kids, and I work with several different kids in several different communities. So not only am I a viral vector myself, but I can also, not only can I spread the disease to these different communities, but they can give it to me. And, if you've ever worked as a teacher before, you know how easy it is to get sick from your kids. And so, yeah, so I do my best to just protect myself and protect them. So I was waiting to see what was the best option. And while waiting, what do you know? I got the real thing. And I think what I got it from was on Christmas Eve, I went out to Rockefeller Center, which was a big mistake because it wasn't fun. It was just so many people. I was packed in on all sides. When you're standing like this and you can feel people on every side, and you're like, I guess we're moving this way because that's where the crowd is moving. That's just really uncomfortable. And it's not safe when you're literally packed in that much. If someone falls, you're going to get trampled. No one's even going to know it. Yeah, that's what it felt like. This was just walking down the street, and it felt like being at, a concert venue when you're looking around and you're like, this is not good. I need to get out of here. So anyway, but I saw the tree, and then I just went right back, right back. Yeah, man, anytime that I've been around like the Times Square area, like all that kind of stuff, it's like, man, none of these people live here. It's all tourists, and they're all annoying. And they all want you to wait for their picture. And enough about that. Anyway, but I kind of guess that's where I got it because that's the only place I've been where there's no where people are packed on all sides and they're not wearing masks and no one is verifying whether people are vaccinated or not. So yeah, it makes sense maybe because it was about uh, so it was about 5 days after that when I had symptoms. And I was still running and felt fine. I ran the morning of the day that I felt sick. I felt fine all the way till the evening, and it just hit like a truck. I was just like, I suddenly feel terrible, and I need to go to sleep. And had a rough night, just fever. Had a fever from Tuesday night all day Wednesday, Thursday morning, and it was just constant throbbing pain all over. I did nothing but stay in bed through that time. But then it just broke. The fever broke, and I was like, wow, I kind of feel fine. I'm going to go for another run. So I went for a run on Friday morning, and I felt great. Friday and Saturday, and then that's when I went and got my COVID test because I was like, well, I feel good enough that I can actually get out and do something. So I got a rapid test, PCR test. Rapid test was negative. PCR test was positive, which I got the following Monday. The result the following Monday. So yeah, the rapid test isn't even reliable for the newest variants, but whatever. Point is, I feel fine after getting COVID. So yippee, luck and health and the fact that I was fully vaccinated, I think was all in my favor. So I'm back to running like 4 miles 3 times a week and doing calisthenics in between. And I feel great. So, yippee, yay for me. Lucked out. Anyway, so that's all the new stuff. Moving into 2022, my plans are just to be more consistent with my own music work. I need to be practicing regularly. I need to kind of do a workup period to getting out and playing because that's what I want to get back to. But, I haven't had solid gigs since 2019. Haven't had regular rehearsals, regular people to hang out and play music with since 2019. That's a long time to not be, especially if you're playing any kind of music that has an improvisational aspect. You have to be, it's like a conversation. You need to be listening to the other people around you and responding musically. And if you don't do it, you lose it. It's like playing a sport, if you really develop this sixth sense of being familiar with playing with someone and responding musically, and if you got to keep doing it. So anyway, so before I can even get back to that, I need to just get my chops back to like being on the road and playing every day, that sort of thing. So I think if I stick to my schedule of working consistently throughout all the mornings and working consistently on different instruments and different styles, I think that's going to be more than enough to get my hands back in shape and my mind to body connection back into shape. And then if I start going out and showing up at jam sessions and stuff, yeah, we'll get back. We'll get this show back on the road. It'll take some time, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I've been out to shows to listen to people and kind of talked, and like a lot of the people here have been so supportive and so positive that it's really encouraging because you might think, hey, New York, big city, people are ambitious, competitive, maybe they don't want to talk to you, and in some circumstances that might be true. And yes, it is true that people here are ambitious and they're competitive, but the thing is, people here are not like, they don't have the ego of they want to be a celebrity or want to be famous or that kind of thing. At least not the people that I've talked to. If they were like that, I probably wouldn't want to talk to them. But people that I've talked to, they're just all about the music. So if you're here and you really love music and you really love it for the right reasons, it's like you're gonna connect with people instantly. They're gonna feel it. They're gonna know that you're here for the right reasons. So yeah, my point is the people I've talked to have been really supportive and encouraging. So I'm pretty sure that as long as if I get my chops kind of back in working shape and go out there and play with people, like it's not going to be too hard to meet some people and to make some things happen because that's why they're here. They're here to really do service with the music, not to just inflate their ego. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I've been encouraged by the few people that I've met so far. It's also crazy how much access you have to people that you would normally not have access to in a place like this because these famous jazz clubs, even like they're small because they're old and they haven't been renovated, and that's a cool thing because they're historical. They're historical landmarks at this point. But that means that if you sit at the bar to listen to one of your favorite guitar players, he's literally like standing 3 feet away from you. So then they're on break, and you're like, "Hi, I like what you guys are doing. You're wow." Anyway, it's just surreal. It's not really like a starstruck kind of thing. It's just like, wow, there's him. you know, I've had some nice short private conversations with a lot of my heroes already, and I don't want to like name drop and make it that sort. That's not my point. But yeah, but again, you're just like, wow, these are real people, and again, they're all about the music. And if you connect with them on that level, it's like it doesn't even feel awkward to talk to someone that I went my entire college experience listening to their albums and trying to sound like them. So that's cool. Hopefully I'll get to experience more of that too. But I would love to actually take some lessons from some guys. I need to figure out, I don't know where to start, you know? When you have several of your favorite musicians all living in the same neighborhood, and you would want to like take lessons from one of them for a while, a few months, who do you pick? So anyway, but I've thought about that. I've thought about, once things get more back to normal, I would love to take some one-on-one lessons with some of my heroes. That would be great. You know, doesn't matter how much it costs. It's more beneficial than going to college, right? That's a whole other topic. Anyway, I should probably wrap this up. Gonna teach a lesson later. Right now, I'm gonna make some tuna salad. Delicious tuna salad on whole wheat bread. It's gonna be great. But yeah, that's about it. I moved. I got rid of some jobs, looking for new ones. I got sick. I got better. I'm moving ahead, and I'm excited. So there you go. Now living in the middle of, well, not middle, but downtown Manhattan, making things happen, checking out shows, having a good time so far, and on track to still meet my financial goals by sometime mid next year. All it's going to take is like people getting more comfortable sending their kids to in-person after school lessons and stuff again, which that seems to be ramping up is the feeling that I get. And a lot of new places are hiring and stuff. So I think before too long, I'm going to have enough stuff going on in my schedule that I'll be able to pick and choose what I want to do and what I don't want to do. So it's great. Anyway, anyone who might watch this, either now or in the future, that's my life here in 2022 in New York on this crazy rock called Planet Earth. So yep. See ya. Catch you later sometime. Yeah. How do I end this? That's no way. Anyway. Yep. See you later. Bye.